So August 9th to August 27th, we're doing Back to Fitness Challenge. So that's something that you can invite people to. Inviting people to something is a really great way of getting people into Plexus. All right, the other thing that we're doing is on Monday night, August 2nd. I could have typed this up and put it in the chat. I'm sorry. Monday night, August 2nd is our gut health product training. So we do that every month. We go through the products as quick as we can, telling people how to use them. And what ends up happening is there's a little bit of information, but it's really not about training what on the products. It's more about how to use them. And it's really, I love it. I think it's great. Thursday, August 5th, we're doing the new ambassador training. So that will be the last month that we do a new ambassador training, because now we're going to have to start calling it like a VIP experience, something different. And then every Monday night, except for the gut health product training, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, the 30th, we're going to point people to the Motivation Monday calls. And then we're going to hop on a Zoom afterwards to do a recap and everybody kind of share what they heard and learned and questions and rehash it. So we're going to start pointing people more to the corporate meetings and trying to use those. So that's what I've got for you. All right. Last call, we talked about introducing the power of 3. And I think, is anyone on here afraid of talking about the business with people that join them for products? Okay. Okay. Could somebody tell me why they're afraid of that? Would anyone mind unmuting and telling me what the fear is?
I'm afraid that they're going to feel like I want their money.
Yeah, like your motive is wrong.
Right. Like, okay, well, if you add 3, then that means that I'm going to benefit. And I know that I'm going to benefit, and I don't mind benefiting, but I don't want them to feel like that's my motivation. And so, like, my mindset recently has changed to where I'm sending out more samples without really caring if they order right then. Like, I'm not thinking in scarcity, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to send this sample out and I need to send it on this day. And then by this day, they'll order. And then if they don't order, then I crash. I don't feel that way anymore. And so, like in the business, I don't want to come across as feeling that way. And I don't really know how to approach it in a non scummy kind of way, like used car salesman kind of way. And so I'm not really comfortable with it. I do bring it up and I try, but I don't have any level 2s at all. And I just don't know how to transition from sharing like crazy and people buying from me because they trust me and then teaching them how.
I mean, so the symptom of your fear disease is that you're not duplicating. And your
Right.
goal is actually a beautiful thing. You want to love people well, but
Yeah.
you're not. It's almost like it's a backwards punishment, because if you look at what it would do for someone to make that extra money, what it would do for them for their confidence, what it would do for them for the extra income, what it would do for them for that dopamine experience, like connecting this feeling of Plexus is amazing because they just gave me this money, this paycheck. I think about so many different people. I'm looking at Tabitha on here and what it has done for her to have this business opportunity. So you're going to have to like really coach yourself through that. And it's not going to happen overnight, but I don't know if you guys ever read Atomic Habits, but he shares about the British cycling team. It was literally like even bike companies wouldn't let the British cycling team buy their bikes because they felt like it would ruin their sales, because they were literally the worst cycling team in the world. And they got a brand new coach, and he started working on every detail of cycling that you could think of, all the way down to what muscle cream helps the muscle recover faster so that they could cycle better, and what workout pants created the best heat so that the muscles are in optimum position to be able to cycle, and what brakes were the best, like every little tiny detail. And he became so like almost, that anal retentive word, like just every little bit. But what happened was everything increased and became better by 1%. And when you add that together in one big lump sum, they end up having a 14-year winning streak for like the Tour de France and every cycle. I don't know the other cycling things. The point being, Maybe you tweak these little things, tweak your conversations with people when you introduce Fast Start, tweak the way that you're sharing with people and when you're sending your samples. Go through and find the best, and it just has to increase a little bit, and the overall effect will get better. And that's encouraging to me. It doesn't mean I have to go from being like 10% bad to 100% amazing. I can just go up a little bit in each little area. So when we introduce Fast Start to someone, this is actually a really great thing because we now have a time clock. You know, when you tell your kids you have 15 minutes to play on the playground and then we're leaving, they will play like crazy, like broken arm level playing. Okay. So when you say to someone, hey, I just wanted you to know that you actually have 30 days to make a $400 referral bonus. If you're interested, let me know. And something about that 30-day window, they're like, 30 days. Then 2 weeks go by and you say, just want to remind you, if you're loving this and you wanted to share, you have 14 more days in that window of time I was telling you about. Did you have any questions? Giving them that sense of urgency is really important. But another thing that's helpful, you guys, is finding out people's color personalities. How many of you guys know the color personalities? All right, somebody tell me what a yellow is. Sarah?
Helper.
Or who was that?
Warm fuzzy helper.
Sarah knows because that's what she is. So, you know, like nurses and such, that's what Sarah was. So if it's a yellow, you find out what they are. Like you might ask them a question like, what motivates you the most? Is it to help people? Is it to know the most information about a product? Like you're asking them these questions to kind of identify. You could even make a graphic that has like 5 questions and you say which one of these things like connects to you the most. And you're just trying to find out what their internal drive is. Because if you're telling them you could help so many people, think about all the lives changed, they might be like, I mean, okay. Like, no, not that they don't care about people, but it may not be very interesting. Jessica Heffley joined Plexus for a Lexus. Okay. And Jessica loves people, but she wanted to drive a Lexus. So we know what drove her to be able to start sharing. And if you know that when you start introducing the power of 3 and you use the right vocabulary, you're having better conversations. So what you need to be doing right now is anyone that's joined you in the last, we say 90 days, why don't we go and have the conversation to find out their color personality, and then we'll come back and we're going to role play about getting people to start sharing. Okay. So I would go and get with your team, go to the people that have joined you, even if they're just wholesale users, ask them leading questions saying, hey, I just want to make sure that I support you in the very best way possible. So I just had a couple of questions, and maybe start to get to know them. Like, what is their internal drive? If you have ideas for how to talk about that, you can unmute. If you have a quiz that you found that people can take that tells you kind of what their internal drive is, share that. Sarah, do you have any tips on how to find out people's color personalities?
So the what motivates you is really big, and there's just keywords, for yellows, it's help. And so if you're asking somebody what motivates you and they say, I just want to help all the people feel better, like, okay, that's a yellow. Reds are very, very driven. And if they say, hey, I want to make $1,000 by tomorrow, you're like, okay, money motivates, they're probably red. Blue is going to be fun. They're going to be the ones that want to go to Mexico with you. Or Maui. And then greens are going to be the ones that are like, well, I just need an encyclopedia before we can have the next conversation. So those are just like, high hitting like keywords and stuff, but I'll drop a graphic in the Power Hour chat.
And you could even do, I just had this thought, you could make a graphic or just have the same script say, hey, I'm asking all my friends this because I want to get to know them better. Would you rather win a luxury vacation, help 5 people change their lives, go to the biggest party on the planet and dance all night long, or become a professional researcher and know every single thing about product ingredients? Like, you're asking them questions based upon those color personalities and see which one that they would pick. And it could just be like A, B, C, D, and then say, tell me which letter you are. Just even if you want to say, have you ever heard of the 4 color personalities? Don't say MLM, because then they'll be like, don't you ever speak to me again. Just say 4 color personalities. Say, I'm learning about this. I'm a whatever. I'm a red. I just was curious what you are. Like, don't be afraid to ask them directly. And the thing is, what do people love talking about the most? Somebody tell me.
Themselves.
Yes. Right? That's their MO. I mean, we all just want to talk about ourselves. So you asking them questions about themselves is not offensive. It's not annoying. It's actually probably going to brighten their day that someone takes interest in them. So I would say this is going to be one of the most fun things you could do. So let's find that out first. Let's do that for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to go ask my level ones that are, I don't already know the answer to that. And then we'll come back and role play.
What was the green one? What do you think is a good question for the greens?
I just said, like, would you want to be a professional researcher that's like a product expert or like a science, I don't know, guru? I don't know. Somebody else that knows how to say that better say it. A well-respected researcher of,
I like guru.
yeah. Would you like to wear a white lab coat and use tweezers and microscopes all day?
Maybe it's a dream job. Maybe that's what you can pick, right? Like a professional, I don't know what a professional partier would be, but you know.
Oh, maybe an event planner. We could just
There
say,
you go.
yeah. Would you like to be in, which of these careers appeals to you most?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Lisa, and I'm green. I would say, do you want to be respected for your knowledge?
Lisa, thank you for that contribution. And please forgive me for the white lab coat tweezer comment.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so that's just a really neat task for you guys to keep on your, I'm going to call it your Rolodex of ideas. When you are trying to get through your workday and you're thinking through things that you need to be doing, just remember that when you focus on getting to know the people that have said yes to you, that's only going to serve you. You're always going to be able to communicate better when you know them, because what drives you is maybe not what drives them. So, Sarah, will you share about the gal you have that just went gold, the things that you said and did to really get her moving forward in a business?
Absolutely. So I want you guys to remember that what is our natural tendency? It's to protect our brains, right? We don't want to get rejected. So a lot of us already talk ourselves into this negative outcome of, oh my gosh, what if I ask them to share? Or what if I ask them if they want to earn referral rewards, or all of those things? Like, we automatically go into this save yourself mode. So I want you guys to remember to stay neutral. And what if what happened to me happens to you? I want you to think about the best case scenario. One, as our responsibility for, they just need to know what their options are. They joined, they got a welcome pack, they have a referral link, they have the option to earn commissions, they could earn bonuses, they could earn a Dyson hairdryer, which is exactly what happened to my gal, who, when she enrolled, she said, I don't want to share. I don't want to tell anybody what I'm doing. Okay. So she was a complete stranger. She found me on Facebook. She told me what her goals were. I said, I absolutely would love to partner with you in helping you with your goals. She ordered, and she didn't start her products for more than a month. So immediately I got discouraged. I was like, she ordered a welcome pack and she hasn't even started it. Well, she had to have a small surgery, and it needed to be her timing. Once she started it, she fell in love with the products, and I walked her through loving those products. And she kept saying, don't ask me to share. I want to hit my final goal before I tell anyone. I just started planting these loving seeds of, I'm so proud of you. I know there's people in your life who are going to just see these goals that you're hitting, and they're just going to be so excited for you. Just these little conversations of starting to plant the seeds of what you are doing, people are looking for. So finally, about 2 weeks in of her loving her results, she lost 10 pounds in her first 2 weeks. She was drinking her water. She started walking every day. Like, she was doing all of the things. I just said, listen, what if you have people in your life who need to benefit from these products like you have? Would you be open to sharing? And she was like, nope. It's like, okay, it's all good. But guess what I didn't do? I didn't get discouraged. I kept loving her through it. So then 7 more days, I was like, listen, can I just be honest with you? And we didn't know each other at all. So we're like still in this messaging back and forth, getting to know each other. I said, I'm so excited for you. Can I just share with you honestly from my heart? And she said, yes. And so I laid it out there. I said, I promise there are people in your life who need what you have found. I feel like I would be a bad friend if I didn't share something like what you found that is helping you. Would you mind just doing a quick shout out post thanking me for introducing you to these products that you're seeing success with? And she was like, let me think about it. I think I could probably do that. So I helped her with a post, which it's so great. Jennifer posted an idea. It was the picture of the 2 little probiotic pills with the like eucalyptus. Like, it was a pretty generic, neutral picture. It was one of your shout out challenge posts, Jennifer. And I whittled it down to just like a few sentences. And I said, hey, would you be open to just putting this on your wall and tagging me? And she said, I think I can do that. So the big things that triggered her was me letting her know that as a good friend, it's pretty much your responsibility to let a girlfriend know, like, hey, I found something. She put up the post, and within 30 minutes, the comments went crazy. So again, this is best case scenario. She went silver, and then she went senior silver within the first 3 days, because everybody in her network desperately needed what she had. She then ended up going gold in 30 days and flew past. She's, pushing, knocking on the door of senior gold. And it's all just people who desperately need what she has. She's now down over 40 pounds. Won the Dyson hair dryer. She's like, what's this success sprint thing? Can you tell me what's going on? Not only that, she used that same sentence with her new level ones. Hey, do you have a few people in your life who could benefit from these? Y'all, she has a new senior silver and 2 silvers. She's developing people just by asking the question, you know, and letting them know, hey, as a good friend, it's kind of my job to let you know what I found. So I want you to think about that every time you're nervous or scared to ask, hey, did you know you have a referral link? You know, do you have a few friends who might be interested? Hey, would you be open to doing a shout out post? I know you don't want to share, it's okay. But would you just be open to doing a shout out post, you know, and thinking you never know who might be watching? Asking those questions, they can either say yes or say no. If they say no, you just keep loving them on their journey. But one thing that really hit me hard, what Jennifer said was, they have to be able to make that decision for themselves. Putting that out there, just saying, hey, would you be open to hearing about if you could earn $400 this month? They could say no, but they could say yes. But don't ever let it come down to them saying, why didn't you tell me, right? Day 28, they make their first post and you're in so many 3-way chats, you can't even keep up. And they're like, why didn't you tell me about this 2 weeks ago when I would have had time to fast start? So I just now err on the side of, what if the best thing could possibly happen? What if they could accidentally go silver in an hour, in senior silver in 3 days, and gold in 30? You know, so that's my little story. I want you guys to remember that, because y'all, even 10 years in, I still have level ones. I'm feeling sweaty pits right now. I still have level ones that I have not asked that question to, that I'm gonna have to get my butt out there and start asking them, hey, what motivates you? Tell me about you. Can I share this? Would you be open to doing a shout out post, all the things. So I don't know if that's helpful, but.
Very, are you kidding? Very helpful. And actually made it seem less, it feels sometimes like in the trainings, it's all like, and me +3, and then +3, and then this, and get this, and do that. And you're just like, it becomes, it actually does add this layer of businessy to it that can actually make you feel worried. Like, what if someone hears what I'm going to say and they're going to be like, get away from me, Satan. Like, they're going to be offended by this whole business conversation. And instead, Sarah, did you catch that? It just felt really friendly and it just felt like she was meeting a need. So one tip when you guys are having conversations is share a little bit about something that happened to you and then ask that person if that could or would, or do they want that to happen to them. So for example, I always tell people, hey, just so you know, my friend Suzanne told me to get 3 friends because it made my products for free. So I did that. Are you interested in doing the same thing? So I just kind of said a little bit about, I didn't go into it. I didn't go all the details on the how. We can work on that later. But just this really quick question, like, this is what happened to me. Are you interested in that for yourself? Another thing you can do with the products, my husband's trying to call me, turning that off. If you're wanting to know how someone's doing on the products, here's a good question. You can say, I remember the day that my friend Audrey told me it looked like I was losing weight and I felt like $1 million. Has anyone noticed a difference in you? Not just with weight, it could be anything, but you want to know if someone in their life has said something like, you don't seem like such a mean person anymore, or whatever. Like, whatever is anyone saying they notice a difference in you? Because that could be a great hook to be able to get them thinking about sharing. So one thing I like to do is when someone's waiting for their welcome pack, first of all, I tell them, when it comes, I need you to take a picture of it. I want to make sure everything's there. Well, now I've got them thinking about taking pictures of their products. Okay. And it sounds like I'm trying to meet their needs. Like, hey, by the way, when your welcome pack comes, I need you to take a picture of it. I want to make sure you got everything that you ordered and we'll get started. And could you be thinking of 3 people that might benefit from the products too? That is going to feel to them like extra words. They don't want to hear it. It's radio static, but that doesn't matter, because what do we know about the number of times someone has to hear something before they start to warm up to the idea? My husband had to ask me out like 1 million times before I would say yes. He's like, you want to come watch Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I'm like, not in a million years. And it took over and over and over. And now we're almost 20 years married. So my point to you is bring it up, bring it up. Don't ever stop bringing it up, because one, it shows somebody that you are committed to this. Like you actually believe you're a businesswoman. Okay. Two, you believe in them. Like if you keep asking, you must think they have the ability. The shout out post is enormous. Would you be willing to do a post? I would give it to you. And that way you would see what friends in your network might be interested in the products. Or you could be showing support for my business. That would mean so much to me. People love to show support. All right. So, Sarah.
Yeah, I scrolled back. So I just want to let you guys know, being in your back office and knowing what's happening with your business is also huge. So when my gal made her post and then had one of her level ones do the same thing, I noticed that this gal enrolled her first 2 people. So I messaged my level one, who her level one had added 2 new people. And all I said was, hey, do you think, I'm not using names do you think so-and-so would like some more information on the bonuses she would earn if she added just 1 more friend? And then I sent the graphic that has the refer 1, refer 2, it has the bonuses. And she said, wait, so if she signs up just 1 more person, she's going to have $380 in bonuses coming her way. And then in all caps, yes, please, we need to let her know this. So all I asked was, hey, do you think she would like some information on what would happen if she added 1 more friend? And that opened up the conversation for her new level 1 going silver. So it's just in asking those simple. So I think remembering from our end, we're leading with the business or we're doing the business activity, but just remember, it doesn't have to feel like that to them. We're just loving them and serving them by giving them the information and asking the questions. And you'll never go wrong with permission marketing. Hey, do you want to know about these bonuses? They can say yes or no. So that's okay. I'll stop talking now.
Oh, actually, maybe you guys write that down, what she just said, permission marketing, because I don't think I've heard that phrase before, but just asking the question, are you interested in hearing about the referral program? If you guys will use words that are not plexus ease, if it's not, it doesn't have, someone would know what it means without having to know what it means. Like if you say, are you interested in getting product credits? That's something you're going to be saying a lot in September. When they start working for product credits, we don't want them to settle for that. We want them to go ahead and upgrade and become ambassadors, right? But everyone knows what a product credit is. And so when they get that and you say, actually, you could redeem that product credit instead for cash. Would you rather have the cash bonus? And so you're just pulling them in and using words they know: cash bonus, product credit, referral link. How many of you guys have referred someone to something that's not Plexus? Like, has anyone here ever sent a referral link to someone? And we don't seem to be bothered by that. So Leslie, I know you were like ultra excited about the idea of this conversation. Why don't you, are you open to just sharing how you feel like, do things go awry when you bring this up? When do you bring it up? Do you have questions about how to bring it up?
Okay, there's a lot of questions there. So what I usually bring it up when I'm putting in Social Security number, because you have to explain why that's there. And just recently had somebody back out and start over because of it. But I usually explain that there's a possibility of you making up to $300 or $400 if you wanted to share with some friends that you know that might be struggling. We can talk about that later. And then I just move through that because I don't want to get stuck there talking about it. You want me, what other question?
So when the person gets their products, do you tell them, do you ask for the shout out post, or do you feel like, where do you feel like you get hung up in this process? When people hear that from you, do they say, I don't want to do that, or I don't know?
Yeah, I wait. I'm starting to ask for shout out posts now as soon as we finish that process of signing them up. And I'm doing it because I want them to have as much time as possible. And the way I go into it is that, you know, everybody has a best friend. And if you start with your best friend, you're more likely to be successful. In fact, it's almost like 85% if you work out with a best friend, if you're a husband or somebody, you're more successful with a buddy. Do you have somebody that you would like to do that with? And a lot of times it's no, I don't. And I say, well, how would you feel about making a post just saying, hey, I'm starting something new and trying to benefit my health? Any, in a little finer words, anybody want to check it out with me? So I'm having them make that post like the day after. That's not threatening at all.
And do they agree to that?
Most of them are, surprisingly.
And
And I give them the graphic and everything, which is just a picture from because I know that graphics will drop to the bottom of the algorithm. So if my homemade picture, it's fine.
And that's huge. If you can get people to do a shout out post, I know Megan Malakovic, she's a diamond. Her business took off because of the shout out post. And I think what it comes down to is people don't know how to do this. In the beginning, like when you remember when this first started to happen, then people started posting on social media about whatever business they were doing, and you're like, you would fall for it. They're like, I just slept the best I ever slept in my whole life. And then you're like, what are you doing? Like now you know not to ask the question, but back then you didn't know. So your post could have been horrendous at that point because it worked because no one knew. Well, now everybody knows. And so there's this level of comparison. Like I could never do it as good as her. I don't even know. Like I can't make a post. So people are afraid. And that's why we say, I'm going to give you a post. Would you be open to putting it on your social media? And that way you can see what friends might be interested in using the products with you. I don't care how many times someone says no, you still bring it back. It's a gentle questioning. So who here feels like they're amazing at getting somebody to start sharing, like just right out the gate? Is there anyone on here that's like, I got this? I'm looking for a hand. Okay, the opposite. Who runs into a brick wall every single time? Okay. Would one of you be willing? Of course, my neighbor's mowing. Would one of you be willing to share what you usually say and let me coach you on that, or Sarah coach you?
I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. I normally, when I'm enrolling somebody, I ask them if they would do a shout out. Number one for me, if they're not interested in doing anything with business, because I've listened to you guys enough to wait until we get to the Social Security part to mention, hey, by the way, you're going to make a little extra chump change that you can spend on groceries or pay your bill or whatever, but we'll talk about that when we finish up. Just remind me, and they will remind me. But I ask in that process, when I'm explaining the money part, would you be willing to do a shout out post on your Facebook page? Hey, I'm excited. I'm getting started with a new product, and, just do like a story. I guess is what I've started asking them to do, like a story of their journey. And I said, you don't have to sell it. You don't have to do any of that stuff. I just want people to know what you're doing and to get excited. And that way, maybe if you're not interested, it'll help me in the process. So maybe I'm wording it like crazy or wrong or.
Well, it's reminding me a little bit, by the way, I don't think any of us are doing this wrong. We're just finding our way, but it's reminding me a little bit of, I can't remember her name that was sharing at the beginning.
Maybe she's a diamond. I'm joking.
I can't remember who was sharing. Tammy was sharing about, she doesn't want people to think she's using them to make money. She has created this story in her mind that sales destroys friendships, and you say you don't need to sell it. Like you're adding that little bit of, well, why wouldn't someone want to sell it? Like that's okay.
True.
Yeah. And so I have a gal that comes every week to my house, and she helps me. And anyhow, she loves Norwex. Like that's her thing. And every stinking time she brings it up, she's like, I'm just going to show you. I'm not trying to sell you this. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. She goes, but just look at this. And she does her same little thing. And I say, it just turns me off when you say, I'm not trying to sell you this. Cause I'm like, but you are, and that's okay. So you're creating this like negative connotation so that guess what? They don't want to share because they're like, if she's worried that I'm going to be mad at her, I don't want my people mad at me. And so it's just creating this negative flavoring. I don't think you sound negative at all, Beverly, but it's maybe just changing and thinking about that for yourself. Am I afraid to sell to people, to my friends? Like, I want people to know when they need something, they can come to me because I do sell it. Like, don't you have a cake person? Does anybody have a cake person? Like when the birthday's coming up, you have your cake girl. And she's like, I didn't know I'd become the cake girl, but I'm the cake girl. And that's what I do. Everybody has this gifting and we know who to go to for whatever we need. Don't you want to be that person? Okay. So I'm going to pretend like I'm a brand new ambassador and somebody's going to bring this up to me. Beverly, I'm going to have somebody else do it, I think, because I want to get somebody else embarrassed. I'm saying embarrassed. You're welcome, because it's awkward. Does anyone want to try to walk through it? And try to use the September 1 terminology that we're going to be using. You ready? Brooke, are you going to try?
Yep, I'll try.
Okay.
Remind me what we're doing. Kid was
Okay.
screaming. I'm sorry.
You're fine. So I'm going to be brand new. Like, I just placed my order. I literally just clicked submit. And you got the email that said, congratulations, you have a new level 1 ambassador. I want you to tell me how you normally handle that. Like, as soon as they sign up, what do you do? What do you send to them? What's your system?
Oh boy. Okay, this is good. I need this. So what I usually do is I will add them into our team page.
Okay.
And I'll send them a message and say, I'm so excited for you to start. I can't wait for you to feel the benefits of the products and to reach your goals that we talked about. And then I add them to my personal Facebook chat, messenger chat, and I get them in a three-way message, typically with my upline, just to kind of introduce them and let them know if I'm not available, they can ask them for any questions, and really get them involved in the sense of the community. So that's kind of it.
No,
That's what I do so far.
I mean, you have a good system and you're getting them connected, which is amazing. So are you asking them who their 3 people would be? Are you mentioning a referral program? Are you asking for a shout out post? Is that anywhere in any of that?
I would say I do, but it's later than it probably should be. No, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, it's later than it probably should be. I don't do it, I think, as quick as I should when they enroll.
Okay, so I'm listening to what she's sharing and she has a system which is fantastic. But I'm picturing she drops this new person in the chat and she introduces them and she says, let's help her go ahead and take advantage of the referral program. Anyone got any tips? So she's in this chat. She's already said, now she's brought up the referral program and now she has this like herd mentality where they're like, oh, you're going to love it and all the stuff. Or maybe someone says, all I did was tell my blank, blank, and blank, and I had no idea I was going to make $400. You could even have people on standby ready to throw that in there. But the point is, everywhere they look, if you do this in the beginning, what happens is it creates a momentum for them. If you wait a long stretch of time, it takes a little bit more to get them off the ground. So I would just start bringing that up when you add them to the team page. When I introduce someone, I usually make a post and I say, this is so-and-so, these are her health goals. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm speaking over you.
No, that is another thing I do, the welcome post. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, good. So when you do the welcome post, I would say these are her goals and I cannot wait to see which of her friends are going to be part of who she refers to try the products with her. Like, I'm putting something in that post. And that's the thing. It's not even, it's like this confident assertiveness where let's go ahead and get you taking advantage of that referral program. Let's go ahead and think about 3 people, or here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and find you accountability. Then they can say no. You can say, okay, usually that's what I do, but that's no problem. If you decide to change your mind, let me know. And then you're going to keep bringing it up. Practice this assertiveness. If you had a child that was terrified of swimming, but you guys were going to go to like a water park. Wouldn't you be pushing them to kind of face that fear? Like, okay, here's your arm floaties and mama's not going to leave you. I'm going to be right there. And, you know, see them, they're all swimming and they're having a great time. Like, you're going to keep pushing them, not going to be like, it's okay, it's fine, we'll sit in the van while everybody else is at the water park. Take your ambassadors out of the van and put them in the water park and show them it's going to be okay. So you're helping them make the post. You're bringing it up without any overlaying of shame or fear or any negative connotation to what sales are. And so if people are VIP customers, this is going to be so beautiful. When they're VIP, you now don't have to say, you don't have to sell it. This is just a referral program. You don't have to say that because it's so obvious. If you share with your friends, you're going to get a product credit, or you could get cash like I did. I'll show you when that happens. So you're planting these little seeds. And the other thing to know is when people sign up as VIP customers, they're going to be able to get the welcome pack or just order product. Now, we want them to get the welcome pack, but they're not going to have to put a social security number in. You guys are going to overcome so many objections. Okay, so who wants to share with me another conversation? Like, imagine I'm your brand new person. Who wants to unmute and try? We have 8 more minutes.
I'll try.
All right.
I'm so scared. Why am I scared? I like you so much. Okay.
And you know what's funny? I feel uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't always get it right. I have people that still tell me no. And I'm like, it's embarrassing. I'm like, I should be able to do this, but you're not going to get it. Okay. Jennifer Orlando is our brand new president of sales and marketing. I was talking to her yesterday and she said, Jen, even if you had the most perfect company, perfect marketing, perfect everything, there is still attrition. There is still going to be people not reordering. That is how life is. And so remember that when you guys are doing it all and you're like, dang it, no one's like, they're not doing it. Just remember, you just haven't found the right person to do that. Okay. So I'm brand new. I just ordered the triplex. I'm like, when should I expect my order? And I want you to try to answer my question, but still try to slide in the referral thing. Okay. So when people order with you, by the way, what do you usually do right away?
I walk them through enrollment, typically over Zoom. Okay. So I can see their screen and all of that. And then, so we walk through a lot of the stuff during that call. Mm-hmm. But I do like to send like the next day. Okay, don't forget, you have to message me as soon as your products arrive. Take a picture of your products and send it here so that I can remember all the things you have, and it'll make it easier for me to walk you through it. And so it's a reminder that don't just start taking everything. Like, I will walk you through it, right?
That's good.
Okay, so Jen, when you send, and it should be here in like 5 more days, just the mail, right? And then I'll say, hey, I totally forgot to tell you, and I don't want you to miss out on this. You got 3 free sample credits just for joining Plexus. Do you have 3 friends that could benefit from this? Because I don't want those freebies to go to waste. And they'll sometimes say no. Oh, you can do that part. Go ahead.
No, that was really good. Okay. So how do I get the app? Where is the app?
Yes. Okay. So I have a graphic for that. Okay. If you guys need that, I can also share that in the chat. It kind of walks them through exactly how to offer a sample. I'm going to write that down. Send to chat. And so I'll send them that. And then I ask them, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I ask them.
My daughter for putting the dog in there because he's barking out.
No, you're fine. You might hear mine come running down here screaming, Mama, someone hurt me soon, because I hear them fighting. And so, okay, then I'll ask who they're going to send it to. And sometimes that's when people are like, I don't really know if I have anybody, well, you know?
Oh,
and so
God. I hate that.
And I typically will say who it was for me.
Yes.
And I try to slide in. It was my mom, my best friend, and a neighbor. I'm so glad that my mom did this with me, because I would quit on myself all the time, but I will never quit on my mom or my bestie.
Girl, you are good. Okay, so I have had people say that about, I don't think I know anyone, and just go right back to, and this is what you did, but the feel, felt, found, say, I felt the exact same way. Like, I thought, I seriously don't know anyone that would be crazy enough to try this with me. And it turned out I actually knew a lot of people and I've helped so many friends. It's fun. So when you guys are listening to each of these things that everyone's sharing, I hope you're grabbing what you can start incorporating into your system. So when they do you ask them to do a shout out post?
So I haven't traditionally until they have results to
Mhm.
shout out,
Mhm.
but I need to start saying it in the beginning. Like you guys are talking about, like, guess what? I'm going to try this. And I have that same mind block where I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm railing them into a business, you know? But I feel like if I can get them to just personally call people, we were talking through like, how do we get people to silver? And one of the things I said was, I personally, and I'm not trying to block any of you guys from doing this. I encourage my team to always put me in a 3-way chat. Okay. But I personally was like resisting that. I'm like, I don't want to, it's like, I feel like I'm the car sales guy, nothing against car sales guys, but I felt like I was a car sales guy going, wait, don't leave. Let me get my manager to talk to you. Let me bring the closer in. And I didn't want to do that. And so I hesitated to do that for a long time. And so what I was trying to do was think of ways to get people to just call the people that you would call if you found out you were pregnant and going to have a baby and you don't want them to find out on Facebook, or call the one that you would tell, like if you had a new job, and tell them, hey, I'm going to try this. You want to try it with me?
Mhm.
And I've been reserving the posting for results, but I might want to do both.
I mean, I would bring it up as many times as humanly possible. I was reading something Sarah just said in the comments. She's saying, what do you do after you've said to them, I felt the same way. I didn't think I had any friends. Turns out I knew more people than I thought I did. I would challenge them and say, hey, do me a favor. In the next 24 hours, I want you to be on like hyper alert for people that say they have thyroid issues, migraines, they can't sleep, their husband said they're in a bad mood. Like, list all these things, because if they're new, they probably don't even know that Plexus could help with all of that. So now you're telling them all these benefits they didn't even expect, because right now they've joined for, I'm imagining, weight loss. That's my guess. Or maybe they want gut health. They're like, I care about my gut. So they don't even know all of the possibilities. So I want you to be on hyper alert, like the next 24 hours. And I want you to see how many times you hear someone mention something they struggle with. So you're doing the whole what you focus on expands, and opening their eyes to the fact that when Suzanne told me these products sell themselves, it's actually really true, because there's not a person that doesn't need at least something that we have. There is not a person. So I would make sure when I joined, and it's almost 11, Suzanne said, I still can't believe I even fell for all this, but anyhow, she said, hey, by the way, don't make your first post until you've shown it to me. And I remember thinking that is very like audacious of you to think that I'm even going to make a post. But at the same time, I'm like thinking for weeks, like, what would that post be? And so then finally I said, I think I'm ready to show you a post. I just don't know how she did it. She was just she just told me what to do and I did it. So don't be afraid to walk in confidence. You don't have to be an expert. You just do what you know is good for them. And then later on, they're going to say, I'm so glad you didn't give up on me. That's so important. And don't take the no as a personal, I'm terrible at this, and this is God's way of showing me that I need to leave for another company and post about it and pull everybody over there. That's not what this means. What that means is that you're on that journey of learning, and you're going to be blessed in your business because your motives are so good. You want to make a difference. All right. We didn't even totally get into the role playing, but it's been an hour, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for giving your time. Have fun, work in your business. Bye.